As a PS2 classic on PlayStation Network, I bought and played this 2002 Shinobi game in particular for the first time on my PlayStation 3. As a newcomer to Sega's Shinobi series, this was the first entry I've played. Transitioning from the 2D action platformer gameplay of its predecessors, this 2002 reboot of Shinobi is an action-adventure and a hack-and-slash game guided by a prototypical third-person camera. The story has you take control of a brand new ninja character named Hotsuma, who travels Japan to save it from being covered in darkness. There's 8 stages to play, and each of them's divided into 2 sub-stages labeled as A and B. For example, the first sub-stage of Stage 1 will be inscribed as Stage 1A, and second sub-stage of Stage 1 will be inscribed as Stage 1B. When you complete a sub-stage for the first time, the sub-stage will be unlocked for replayability in Stage Select. Granted, unlocking Stage Select will necessitate collecting a few in-game coins along the way. While playing as Hotsuma in a new game or continue file, you'll wield Akujiki, a sword that takes a toll on your soul gauge, and if this soul gauge is left depleted for too long, your separate health bar will also be depleted. To replenish your soul gauge, you must garner red light energy in the form of yin, which is mostly to be garnered by killing enemies. To replenish your health bar, you must garner white light energy in the form of yang, which is also mostly garnered by killing enemies. The same applies if you play as the second playable character, who can be unlocked by earning a certain number of coins. There's a third playable character who constitutes as the second character to be unlocked by earning a certain number of coins, and if you play as him, there's no need to worry about the soul gauge in a new game file, continue file, or stage select. All 3 playable characters, Hotsuma and the 2 unlockable characters, have their gameplay advantages and disadvantages, but I'll go into minimal detail about that. There's an art gallery that can be unlocked as part of the extras section if you earn a certain minimum of coins, but to unlock everything in the art gallery, you need to collect every coin in the game. Also, as part of the extras section, you can unlock the movie gallery by collecting a certain minimum of coins. And unlocking movies in this gallery will necessitate you to progress in the game. The first difficulty setting to play is labeled as normal, and it's also the minimum difficulty setting. On the normal difficulty setting, you'll already receive a tough gameplay experience in itself. While every video game obviously provides some sort of challenge factor on normal difficulty setting, the Shinobi series 2002 entry does it in a fashion that took me by shock. The 2 bonus difficulty settings, which can be unlocked if you at least complete the game on normal, are tougher than the game's normal difficulty setting. Similar to any ninja-themed video game, the Shinobi series 2002 entry makes sure to include shurikens for gameplay. Characters number 1 and number 2 have a limited shuriken arsenal. When using shurikens as these two particular characters, the gameplay effect will be identical on enemies. However, the third playable character carries an infinite shuriken arsenal, and his shurikens have a different gameplay effect on enemies. As a complement to its third-person, ninja-themed gameplay, this Shinobi entry introduces the ability to run on walls. In some substages, this ability will be needed for survival. There's also 3 types of magic attacks available to all 3 playable characters, but there's gameplay variations on how they're used by each character. You'll need at least 1 Makimono, which is the minimum number you start out per stage, to use any of these 3 magic attacks, but the number of times you can use these magic attacks per stage is extremely limited, as there's a small number of extra Makimono to be discovered per stage. There's an attack technique named Tate, and it can be used by your sword on a group of enemies surrounding you. If you use it on at least 4 enemies in a row, you'll be treated to an epic cutscene of them being ripped apart while the player character performs a pose. In the circumstance of a boss battle, you'll need to chain together attacks on the boss's minions and on the boss themselves to perform a tate on the boss. By doing this, you'll perform a good fraction of damage to the boss's health bar, or even a cinematic one-hit kill on the boss, as the damage will vary by the number of minions you used tate on during the boss battle. Having at least completed it on normal difficulty, I'll say the Shinobi series 2002 entry isn't a bad game, but there are some issues of frustration I have about the game. Its normal difficulty setting is unexpectedly tougher than that of other action-adventure or hack-and-slash games I've played. The lack of easy difficulty setting as an unlockable or automatic option makes me think this game's development was rushed out, in contrast to most action-adventure or hack-and-slash games I've played. Though there's a variety of unlockable content, the difficulty curve in unlocking such content is unusually time-consuming, and left me pondering, how much will I unlock? Conclusively, the video game was enjoyable, but had potential to be smoother than how it turned out.